The more you make, the more you pay. From each according to his ability, to each according to her need. That's a new idea from big bad California utility companies. They're the worst. Income-based electric bills. Sounds pretty good if you're not making a lot of money. They're following a new state law that requires a fixed rate and simpler bills. No matter how much energy you use, you're going to pay the same thing. Looks like they're going a step further. Here's how it breaks down. Income brackets are divided from under 28,000 up to 69,000, then 69K to 180 plus. So the highest earners will pay the most for electricity. The utilities say this will lower utility bills overall for people who don't make as much money, but now they don't have any incentive to conserve power. It is a communist solution. The party panel is back. Katie Pavlich, Juan Williams, and Spike Cohen. So Spike, I will start with you. My big issue, having lived in California for a majority of my life, is these power companies are cartels. There is no competition because, you know, if you don't like your power company, you can't go to another power company.
Yep, exactly. And first of all, let's call this what it is. It's now a tax. You're now no longer paying for the kilowatt usage or whatever that you're using of energy. It's now based entirely on your income. So this is now just another tax. And of course, as we know, California didn't already have a problem with people fleeing the state for being punished for being high income earners. This certainly is going to help along that front. But you mentioned it as well that, you know, here we have progressives in California and really across the planet saying that we need to reduce energy usage. And they're going to do that by introducing a use all the power you want unlimited energy plan for everyone, where you're paying buffet prices based on your income, and you can just use whatever you want. Yet this is not a serious proposal for either dealing with income inequality or with certainly not with energy use or the environment. If they were really serious, as we've said many times on this august program, they would be talking about not only freeing up the utilities and letting the market do its thing by not cartelizing the provision of power, but also by deregulating the use of things like nuclear energy, which would allow newer and even safer and even cheaper nuclear plants like thorium energy to be built. You could have clean, plentiful, and cheap energy. You just got to get the government out of the way, and this is the opposite of that.
Absolutely right. Juan, how can you argue with a thing that Spike Cohen just said?
I don't know. It's hard, but, you know, it's really hard. You think of you spending half your life in California. People in New York want to pay a tax on that, Kennedy.
I know. They want to tax me for everything, and it's theft. Go ahead, as you will.
But you know, this is up to the legislature. It's not like the power companies can act on their own. They're submitting proposals to try to meet what the legislature is considering, which is they want this to be progressive. You can describe it as a tax, but in fact, what you're seeing is an effort to make the bill simpler and to reduce the cost for people who don't make a lot of money. You can say, oh, well, that's punitive for people who make a lot of money. I think, you know, if you're talking about $180,000 and the like, I think most people say, well, in exchange for a simpler bill where most of Californians are paying lower bill, that's a pretty good deal. And I don't think there's any connection to your point about usage of electricity and the price. I think people, on the other hand, are saying, I really don't. You show me some evidence.
That is not true. The evidence is when things are more expensive, people use less of it. So if you're trying to get people...
so are they going to go out and buy electric stuff? I mean, I just don't think that's the typical case.
No, I mean, you've been to California. They're going to leave their AC on day and night because they don't have to pay any more for that behavior. Katie, take us home. We've got 30 seconds.
Well, first, the only people really benefiting from this are the U-Haul companies. Second, the people who are living in the big houses are already paying a larger electricity bill. And I would say, you know, what's up with this whole banning regular cars and plugging them all in when you think that only the top tier people are going to be able to afford to pay for that? I mean, people who can't afford their electric bills certainly can't afford an electric car. Yeah. So I'm not really sure how that's going to work. And as we know, all the evidence shows that anytime the government forces anything to be a certain price, it just makes it more expensive.
Absolutely, and the same is true with electricity. Last year, Gavin Newsom said, don't plug in your electric vehicles. The grid can't support it. So how are they supposed to go all electric? They cannot.